Is it possible to scrape Instagram without login in 2022? Yes. Today I'm here to show you 2 ideas that you can try out if you want to scrape Instagram with Python. The 2 ways we'll look at today will be scraping Instagram with Selenium and with requests. Let's start with requests. First, create a new folder in a directory of your choice and name it Instagram Scraping. Now create a new text document and rename it. Let's call it requests1.py, and now we can open it and start writing our code. For this code to work, make sure you have Python, requests, JSON, and random libraries. First, import the requests library, JSON, and random. Then we're going to print out the results to format the console output. Now let's specify the usernames of the public profiles we're going to scrape. For this example, we chose a few of our favorite pop coins. Then it's time to create a new variable for our proxies. But why do we even need them? Well, we're going to scrape without a login, and Instagram limits the amount of information that one can access without logging in. So we'll need to use multiple IPs to scrape as much information as possible and not get blocked. After that, create a new dictionary variable to store the scraped results. Then write the beginning of the code, calling the main function. Now it's time to prepare the headers and mask that we're sending a request through a scraper, since Instagram isn't a massive fan of scraping. The headers will also rotate a couple of user agents. Next, write the code to iterate the usernames we're going to scrape. The main function will iterate through the Instagram username list. Now we're going to write a line that will send the request and apply the headers and proxy to it. To tell whether the request failed or not, we'll now need to check if we weren't redirected to the login. We can do that by checking if the response is JSON. Also, this line will let us pass the response text. If the results aren't in JSON, it means we got redirected to login. The script moves on to the next username. Additionally, we can add retry functionality here to try scraping the failed username later. If our results are in JSON, we can go ahead and pass our data. There might be some errors along the way. Let's try and catch them. If failed, you can add retry logic. Now create a pass data function to get the data you want from the JSON response. For example, we can get post captions from the publicly available posts and assign a list of them to a variable. Okay, now let's save the code. Then open CMD and change the directory in which our code is saved. And it's time to run the code. So how successful was our try to scrape Instagram with requests? Overall, we'd say this method of scraping Instagram impresses with its request speed. With the help of proxies, we were able to send requests really fast. So even with a low success rate, you can scrape quite a bit of data using Python's requests library. But is there a way to scrape Instagram that's a bit more reliable? One that would ensure a higher success rate? Well, let's take a look. For scraping with Selenium, make sure to have Python, Selenium, Selenium Stealth, JSON, and Chrome driver. Create a new text document in the same directory as before and then rename it. Let's name ours selenium1.py. Now we can open it and start writing our code. First, import WebDriver from the Selenium module. Then import a WebDriver using BySelector module from Selenium to simplify selection. After that, just like we did with requests, let's print out the results to format the console output. Now we'll import JSON since we'll be working with JSON data. We'll also import Selenium Stealth for a more real-looking browser. Next, let's specify the usernames of the Instagram profiles that we wish to scrape. Proxies will be a massive help with this method too. They'll help us reach a higher success rate. Create a variable for your proxies. Then let's create a new dictionary variable to store the scraped results. Now write the beginning of the code, calling the main function and adding another line to print out the results of your scrape after it's finished. Let's write the code to iterate the usernames we're going to scrape. The main function is going to iterate through the list of Instagram usernames and send it off to another scrape function that we're going to write later. With the next 7 steps, we're going to define the function. create a new function, it will allow us to make changes to the browser settings, such as changing the user agent or rotating a proxy before each scrape. Now write a line for initializing Chrome browser options. Add proxies to the browser options. Then let's specify the settings needed for Selenium Stealth to work. Now initialize the Chrome browser with the options we've set earlier. Let's apply more Selenium Stealth settings. For extra anonymity, you can rotate your digital fingerprint or user agent. Now return the Chrome driver with all of the options and settings that we've set up thus far. And the function is defined. Let's get to scraping. Create a new function. The scrape function requires only a single argument, a username that we've passed from the loop in the main function. Now build a URL. Adding this to the end will allow us to get the response from Instagram backend directly without passing HTML content. Then it's time to call the prepare browser function and assign a driver to a variable. Now open the browser and make a request. To tell whether the request failed or not, we'll need to check if we weren't redirected to the login. We can do that by looking at the login string. If it's present in the URL, the request wasn't successful. Additional retry functionality could be added here to try scraping the failed username later. But if the request was indeed successful, we can extract the body text from the response and pass it as JSON. The result can then be passed to a passData function together with the Instagram username we've scraped. After that, let's move on to parsing our data. Create the mentioned passData function to get the data you want from the JSON response. For example, we can get post captions from publicly available posts. Or we can get full names of the users, the category they belong to, and the number of followers they have. All this information can finally be written into the output dictionary. Okay, now let's save the code, then open CMD and change the directory in which our code is saved. In the moment of truth, let's run the code. And these are our scraping results. Okay, so after all of that, is using Selenium a better way to scrape Instagram? If we're talking solely about success rate, yes, Selenium is superior to requests when it comes to success rate. However, the overall scraping speed, we must state, was slower compared to requests. You can copy the full code for both methods from our blog post. You'll find the link down below. But to make sure your scraping experience is as smooth as quality butter, you're gonna need reliable proxies. Watch our best Instagram proxies video for the best provider recommendations, and I'll see you there.